Hello friends, welcome to HitBullsEye. So my name is Manish Mittal and I am back with your daily dose of current affairs. In this session, we will discuss some important current affairs of 20th and 21st of February 2022. So because on Sunday there is no session of Daily Bull Dose, so in this class we will discuss the questions of 2 days, that is 20th and the 21st of February 2022. So let us see what all we are going to discuss in this class. So these are the 5 important topics we are going to discuss. First, we will have a look at Nabin Chandra Sen. So Nabin Chandra Sen, who was a famous revolutionary and a poet, has been in news. So we will see why Nabin Chandra Sen has been making news. Secondly, the World Day of Social Justice was celebrated on 20th of February. So we will also see about that. Then the non-banking financial companies or NBFCs are also in news once again because of a circular that has been issued by the Reserve Bank of India. Then in an honor for India, the International Olympic Committee session or IOC session next year in 2023 is going to be held in India. So we will see which city is going to host the IOC session. And finally, the Munich Security Conference is also taking place in Munich in Germany. So these are the 5 topics that we are going to discuss in this particular video. The first one, Nabin Chandra Sen. So Nabin Chandra Sen was a revolutionary Bengali poet and writer, and today we are celebrating 175th birth anniversary of Nabin Chandra Sen. Nabin Chandra Sen is, I would say, like an unsung hero of freedom struggle. But as a poet and as a writer, he made quite a lot of contributions. And maybe not in the other parts of India, but in Bengal, Nabin Chandra Sen is a very prominent figure in public life. So some important facts about Nabin Chandra Sen. He had described the Battle of Plassey, which was the first battle that opened the gates of India for the British Empire. The battle that was fought in the year 1757. Right? So this was the battle that made the British the supreme power in India. So Nabin Chandra Sen had described the Battle of Plassey and the arrival of the British in India as a night of eternal gloom. So he was one of the first revolutionaries and one of the first poets of India who had described the British rule as evil. His novel in verse, Bhanumati, and the memoir of his travels, Prabhasir Patra, brought him fame. These were the 2 prominent of his writings and his creations that brought him a lot of fame. His 5-volume autobiography. So the name of his autobiography is quite important. Amar Jeeban, My Life. Amar Jeeban, My Life. So since he was a Bengali, his autobiography was in Bengali language, Amar Jeeban. So it was also in Bengali. So it is an important document that chronicles the politics and social aspirations of the Bengali literati. So a very prominent personality in Bengal, and we are celebrating his 175th birth anniversary. Moving on to the next topic, which is the World Day of Social Justice. So the World Day of Social Justice was celebrated on the 20th of February 2022, and this year the theme is very prominent. It is achieving social justice through formal employment. Now this is very significant because how can we associate employment with social justice? But as we know, for the last 2 years, we have seen the COVID-19 pandemic wrecking through the world economy, and millions of people have lost their jobs. So this year, the theme of justice through formal employment tells us the importance of social security and the importance of economic security in social justice. So this theme is very important this year, also from the MCQ point of view, but also for understanding that how formal employment is so much necessary for ensuring social justice. So the day is aimed at raising awareness about social justice and address the issue of illiteracy. So many issues that this day is about to address. The issue of illiteracy, number 1, the issue of religious and physical discrimination, poverty, race and ethnicity, all the criteria or all the bases of classification that are used as discriminatory. In 2007, this day was started to be celebrated. In 2007, the United Nations General Assembly or the UNGA declared for the first time that we will be celebrating this day as the World Day of Social Justice, and the global goals are a universal call for social justice. So basically it's a day to make everyone aware, to make every human being aware that how important social justice is for all the people in the world. So discrimination on any of these grounds has to be curbed, and every type of justice has to be brought forward. That is the message that this day gives. Next is a news related to economy, and very important one. So the Reserve Bank of India, which is the central bank of India and the regulator of the banking sector in India, has extended the timeline by 6 months. So from 31st March to 30th September. But for what? For NBFCs to adhere to the new NPA recognition norms. So to get the matter straight, NPA means non-performing asset, and a non-performing asset is simply the unpaid loans of the bank. So if I am a consumer and I have taken some loan from the bank, but I am not able to pay back the loan on time, or if I default on my equated monthly installments or EMIs, then after a particular point of time, my account will be declared as a non-performing asset. And in terms of NBFCs also, NBFCs are also lenders. They also lend money to the people. So there have been certain guidelines that the RBI has come up with, but for NBFCs, these NPA norms have been extended by another 6 months, giving relief to the NBFCs. So what were these guidelines? Earlier, 31st of March had been set as the deadline for NBFCs to upgrade NPAs only after all arrears and principal dues are paid. Basically, this was a guideline given to the NBFCs that if by 31st March all your NPAs are cleared, all those who have arrears, they clear their arrears, then you should clear them up. But now the deadline has been extended by 6 months, and by 30th of September, if the NPAs pay back their arrears with interest, with principal of course, then they can also be converted into normal assets. Right, so it's a sort of relief to the NBFCs as well as to the consumers. And in case of borrowers having more than one credit facility, say a person has taken loan from more than one places or more than one banks or NBFCs, then loan accounts shall be upgraded from NPA to standard asset only upon repayment of entire arrears of interest and principal of all the credit facilities. So if I have taken loan from 4 different banks or 4 different NBFCs, unless I clear my arrears of principal as well as interest from all of those NBFCs and banks, my account will not be converted into a standard asset. But now that the timeline has been extended, has been pushed back by 6 months, that is going to help a lot. So the new RBI rules require NBFCs to treat such accounts as NPA until the borrower updates the account by paying all the EMIs due. It will also give relief to NBFCs, and it is of course an onus on the NPAs that they pay all their dues in time. Right. Next is the 2023 International Olympic Committee session. So IOC or International Olympic Committee conducts sessions every 1 or 2 years to decide the next host of the Olympics. It can be Summer Olympics, it can be Winter Olympics. So for example, the 2024 Summer Olympics have already been announced. They are going to be held in Paris. 2028 Olympics are going to be held in Los Angeles, and 2032 Summer Olympics are going to be held in Brisbane in Australia. But as far as the 2030 Winter Olympics is concerned, they have not yet been announced. The 2030 Winter Olympics venue has not yet been announced. This year's Winter Olympics are already being held in Beijing in China, but for 2030 the host needs to be decided, and for that purpose IOC session is going to be held in 2023, and that honor has been bestowed upon India. Mumbai is going to host the IOC session for 2023. where the host for the 2030 Winter Olympics is going to be selected. And it has been done after a lot of wait. So the last time India hosted any IOC session was in 1983. After so many years, India has got the opportunity to be a host to the IOC session. So this session is the annual meeting of the members of International Olympic Committee, which has 101 voting members and 45 honorary members. It simply means that the administrative officials of sports bodies of all these countries shall be participating in the conference, and they will be visiting India. Of course, if there is no such COVID-like restrictions or any such situation at that time. So of course, all of them will be visiting India. And this meeting is all the more important because as India is becoming more and more developed, it is not yet categorized as a developed country, but it is moving towards that scale. So it is being hoped that India is going to host Olympics sometimes in the future. Of course, not till 2032 because the slots are already gone. So maybe in 2036 or maybe in 2040, India may stake claim to host the next Olympics sometime in the near future, maybe in the first half of 21st century. So this meeting is an indication towards the growing stature of India as well. And finally, the Munich Security Conference that is being held in Munich, which is in Germany. So in the German city of Munich, this security conference is being held. And on the behalf of India, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has held a series of one-to-one meetings with ministers of other European, Asian and other countries. Right? So Munich Security Conference, a very important conference from the point of view of international security. This security conference is an annual conference. So it happens every year and it is on international security policy. And this meeting is being held since 1963. It's a really time-tested security dialogue that is being held for the last more than 60 years now. So this is like the 59th year actually when this meeting is being held. The list of attendees is quite long. It includes heads of states, which includes the presidents and prime ministers of various countries, the governments and international organizations. So it is not only limited to the summit level diplomacy where only the presidents and prime ministers participate. It also includes various other stakeholders in international relations like the international organizations, ministers, members of parliament, high-ranking representatives of armed forces, scientific community, civil society as well as business and media. So that makes this dialogue quite broad in terms of deliberations that are held over here, and it includes the members from academia, from armed forces, science, business, from diverse fields, which actually makes it a quite a deliberative forum. So the conference is held annually in February and the venue is in Munich, Germany. So because of its broad-based participation and the way it engages different stakeholders, this security conference is quite significant. And whatever is the outcome will be, of course, very important, and we will be discussing it in the next few videos. If you are watching these videos for the first time, please make sure to hit the bell icon so that you are notified of all the videos that we post every day. Also, hit the bell icon and hit thumbs up if you like this video. Thank you so much, and if you have any doubts, please let us know in the comment section. If you have any suggestion, please feel free to comment and also share this video with your friends so that many more people also can take benefit of the same. Thank you so much and see you tomorrow.